My name is Isabel Nelson. I'm a co-artistic director of Transatlantic Love Affair and an ensemble member.
And I'm Diogo Lopes, and I'm the co-artistic director of Transatlantic Love Affair.
And what show are you doing this year?
We are doing These Old Shoes at the Music Box.
Okay, we're here in the Illusion Theater. Are you regular members of the Illusion?
We actually have a very close connection with the Illusion. They've been helping us through these years, giving us rehearsal space, and they also produce our shows after the Fringe. So usually we produce at the Illusion Theater the show that we did the Fringe before. So we have a close connection with them.
Okay, well, that leads into my question. How do you choose your venue? You have a very specialized kind of show. How do you pick where you're going to perform?
We don't.
Yeah. We've been really fortunate actually that the venues we've been assigned as a part of the Fringe Festival have all been really conducive to the type of work that we do. They've all been really beautiful spaces that are easily transformed, which is helpful for our work since we don't use any sets or props, and so much lives in the imagination of the audience. It's really helpful for us to have a space that's a little bit more of a blank slate. So when the Illusion, we started this relationship with the Illusion a couple of years ago. This space is another really wonderful one for us, but yeah, it's been more serendipitous than intentional that we've ended up in the spaces that we've been in.
We've been really lucky, really lucky with the spaces for the Fringe and here at the Illusion. They've been working really well for us.
How important is the Fringe to the performances you do outside of the Fringe?
Essential, I think.
Yeah, we wouldn't be as known as we are outside the Fringe if there was before the Fringe. The Fringe built a fan base, and it built what we are now as an ensemble and as a theater company. We wouldn't be anything without the Fringe.
Yeah, and even just with the pieces even being able to be created, I mean, it's made it so, it's made it possible for us to create the work we've created because it has provided a venue and a forum for the pieces. Otherwise, we'd be, it's helpful to have that support, and it's really meant that we've been inspired and encouraged and required in some ways to make art instead of just sitting around talking about how we should.
Well, how do you choose the plays that you do? What do you look for?
We look for a good story, and we started. And it's usually how we work. Do we need a break?
No, we're good.
We usually start choosing a good story, and we started by choosing a fairy tale or a myth. We worked with the fairy tale Red Resurrected and Cinderella. Red Riding Hood, sorry, and Cinderella and the myth of the Selkie. So we were always looking for a good story, something that touches us, something that we find a meaning and then we want to transform into our own language and to give our own perspective. But yeah, we choose. They're based on stories that are exciting and usually simple in a way.
Well, do you look at it and say, oh gosh, we could do this, let's do this story, or do you say, this touches my heart, what can we do with it?
It's more like, this touches my heart in a way, let's do this, let's explore this. Because usually what we do, we don't follow the story. If we pick for instance, the Cinderella story, we don't follow the story as it is. We think like, who is the grandma? The
Wicked Witch, the
Wicked Witch, or
the wolf, and the grandma.
So we ask this question for Red Riding Hood: who is this wolf? Who is this grandma? Who is this Red Riding Hood? Who is this child? Is she a child? Is not? Where is this taking place? So we start to asking these questions, and all these questions will be answered in the rehearsal space. So we don't know. Oh, okay. We don't know from the start where we're going with the story. What we know is that we have this base myth or fairy tale that we're gonna jump from.
And this year is different because we didn't have one of those. We didn't go off of a pre-existing, explicit fairy tale, although we did, of course, go from a pre-existing, very old kind of boy meets girl type of archetypal story for this.
And it is, again, it's a very simple story this year, and for me, it's taking that simple story and make it something beautiful.
And did you write the story?
We did as an ensemble. Yeah.
The ensemble sort of writes all the through improvisation and kind of structured play. The ensemble members often come up with their own dialogue, their own characters. It's not a process where we come in with a script and kind of cast it. It's more that we play and kind of try to discover what the scenes and the world and the characters are for us, and then the piece emerges from that.
And this year we had a collaborative writer too, and Gemma Irish, and she was really helpful in finding the structure of the story, and then taking what the actors wrote in improvisations and clean that up and make it cleaner and set it in a way. But at the beginning of the rehearsal process, we don't have a script. Usually, we just have a script because tech people needs a script. Because when we finish writing the script, we actually don't need it because everybody knows what they're doing. So we don't need the paper because we have it in our bodies. So, yeah.
Approximately how long does it take from idea to fully realized play? You say, let's do Little Red Riding Hood, and then you're on stage. How long?
About 2 months later. We've typically
with rehearsal.
Yeah, 2 months of rehearsal.
Yeah.
So we've typically started rehearsing in early June, and then are ready for Fringe in early August. So it's about 2 months.
And it takes some thinking, and before that, we talk to each other about ideas, and we bounce ideas, and we try to figure out where this show will be. Where the landscape will be, what music will be, and we kind of talk about that, and we do research, and we get inspired by movies, sounds, and music, and all that. So since the idea comes, I think we start to be more open to. So the work could begin like a year before, but really from first rehearsal to opening the show is approximately 2 months.
And the first month is usually just a bunch of development of different ideas and trying out different things. So it's usually not until about halfway through the rehearsal process where we're like, okay, this is the story.
Right.
Or like, these are the characters that we're following. And then it's another month to really then develop that story and clean it and make it into something that we can present in front of an audience.
So how do you decide who's the elevator and who's the main character?
I think the main character, it's varied a little bit from year to year. That is something where a little bit of casting comes into play, because when we're developing ideas, everyone will play the main character. When we're improvising, everyone will kind of show their take on it, and then it's up to the director, which has been Diogo this year and last year, and myself the 2 previous years, to sort of figure out what color, what flavor that each individual brings is best for different particular roles. But I think one of the exciting things about the ensemble work is that even though there are always kind of clear protagonists and maybe more principal characters, everyone's body and voice in the space is important and valued, and often has like their moment within the piece. So it's not necessarily the lead and then the chorus, but there's a lot of gradation in terms of people's involvement that I think is really nice in the ensemble too.
And every scene is created by everybody. So even the scenes that you see that are just the main characters, they were created and written by everybody, which is really exciting because sometimes we have scenes. For instance, I know that the scene with the grandfather Jim and the granddaughter at their room showing where the new stuff is, that was created by 2 different actors. So when it's like, at the end, it's like, what kind of flavor do I want the main characters to be? For instance, I know, like, for this show, I wanted the Marjorie, the female lead, to be really young and this juvenile almost energy. So Katie was like perfect for that. But like I could have chosen from any other women in our cast, and they would be perfect for that role if I wanted something different. You know, it's like it's not because they're better or worse. It's just like, oh, that's what I want for this, the energy of this character. That's yeah.
Well, who do you think is your target audience? Who would you like to see your plays?
Wow, that's
That's
a good question. We've been having great responses from everybody, and I think everybody who likes theater. It's true. It's true because this is theater as simple as it can be. It's like you will go for a ride and you can't really relax in your chair and just you have to work with us. So it's some people that want to be engaged in a theater space and in a more like maybe this is not, but like I think that what we do is really traditional theater. It's like it is simplicity. It's like going back to the caves or going back to telling stories around the fireplace. It's just like it's storytelling. So who loves this? I think we had great experience with kids, teenagers to we have great experience from teenagers to elderly people. And the most important thing is that like every story will touch people in different ways. So I think there's not a target audience. It's we're not targeting our audience. We're open our doors. Yeah.
Who is the third member of your troupe there?
Oh right, sorry. He's been interrupting us. Is Miles Miguel, was born 2 months ago. So yeah, we're really proud parents now. Yes.
About the time it takes to put on a play.
Yes, it is. And it's been an incredible rehearsal process. Creating a show and having a baby. Yes, it's possible. Just saying it's possible. Yes.
Okay. Any questions that you've always wanted to be asked and haven't been asked? Now's your chance.
I don't know.
Well, any last thoughts? What anything you want to wind up with?
I just want to, first of all, just to thank everybody that come and saw our shows, from the past shows and this year Fringe, and to the warm responses and the warm reviews and the warm feedback outside the theater. Thank you so much. What we do is for you, and we love to hear your feedback, and please come back to see our shows. Thank you.
And you're the Transatlantic Love Affair.
And we are the Transatlantic Love Affair. We have a show, These Old Shoes, at the Music Box. 2 more days, Wednesday and Saturday.
Wednesday at 8:30.
Wednesday at 8:30 and Saturday at 5. So please come and see it.
For the 2013 Fringe Festival, www.fringefestival.org.